Turn-Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and today we're in here playing with the PlasmaCAM. This is New Year's Eve, and I've already done one machine project that I was working on, some old through holes and stuff like that. Had a really good morning, got those done. Now I'm in here and I'm kind of playing around. Adam Booth gave me a call. Actually, he texted me a little bit and informed me he's got a project he's working on. He told me about his project, and he asked for my assistance in creating a little something for his project, and that's what we're doing. We're in here and we've taken Adam's logo there that Quinn put together for him for his videos for the intro and outro. And so I took the artwork that Quinn created and brought it in to the PlasmaCAM and kind of mixed around and took out some of the detail and created a cutout. And so what we're doing is I've cut out, this is the third one I've cut out, just making some adjustments. And the last one I wasn't able to cut out the center of the A here. So I went ahead and I adjusted that. Time before that, I wasn't happy with my pierce point. It was piercing and put a little dimple in on the end of the thimble on the micrometer, and it's supposed to be nice and round. So I changed that location. Now I'm ready to rock and roll here for a couple more cuts, and I'm going to cut out several of these, and then I got to do something special with one of them here. And then we're going to take some other thicknesses of material, and we're probably going to cut them out a little bit larger ones just to have something for the wall. And I mean, he's got this for one specific project, but I'm sure that there's some other pieces of his equipment there, you know, that I'm sure that he would like to maybe add these on. So let's get you turned around, and we're going to get looking at the table here, because I'm going to go ahead. This has very little dross on the back, and I'm pretty happy with it. It cleans up easy and nice. This does look really sharp edged. We were waiting for starting cartridges to come in. I was in need of getting them, and Adam's project kind of made me expedite them a little bit. So I ordered them last week, and I just got them in here today. And so we got them in the machine because I wanted that crisp start. I was starting to lose that, and it gets finicky, especially on hot roll. Hot roll is pretty touchy because that mill scale on the outside sometimes just really hinders with that initiated pierce. After I get done cutting out some of these, we're going to go ahead and throw in a piece of cold roll finish, and you'll see the difference of it cutting just really sweet. I've done some other projects here, like my Cape Cod plant hangers and stuff like that I've done for the teacher across the street at the school. And it is amazing how much nicer cold roll finish sheets cut on the PlasmaCAM. Performance wise and cut edge and everything else, it really is quite a bit of difference between the two. All right. Let's get going, and let's get a few more of these blowing out here now that I'm happy on the whole piece, really. Okay, now this one here, we slowed down the speed to 100 inches a minute, and I wanted to compare the finish a little bit. with the one that we just had. This is the one I didn't have the center and the A, but it's pretty close. I didn't the holes here look a little rougher. These look more uniform, and the detail on the inside actually looks just a little crisper, a little straighter edge. Pretty close to the same amount of dross. This is 12 gauge, and so that's about 100,000 thick right here, and we slowed it down to 80 inches a minute, same shape. We're going to try it on here. We better add a ground here. All right. Okay, we've got Adam's little metal logo here, and Adam wants us to curve it around because he's got a round item that he wants to mount this to, and he'll probably put two tap-in rivets or something, and probably in that area right there and that area right there would look really cool with a rivet there and there. It would kind of like match it up, but that's up to him how he wants to mount it. We're trying to create a curve that fits to just slightly under 6 inch in diameter, and this is a piece of 5.5, which works out pretty good. And now the reason why we don't just put this in our slip rollers and roll it is because when you take ununiform shapes and run them through the rollers, especially we're only trying to get like a 6 inch curve out of this, and the rollers that I have are 3 inch diameter, it tends to go kink, 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 kink on any one of these smaller thin areas, and then where you have the span of these links here, it's a hard push through the rollers. Not that this material will be a hard push, but harder than where it kinks. So to get a uniform shape, I like to take, and first off I just go ahead and I just put this right over it, and I kind of just give it a curve by hand, and that actually helps give it. Now you can see that you do have like a little kink here, a little kink there. This probably is pretty uniform right here. Alright, now that we have it like this, I want to go ahead and take my soft dead blow hammer, or my my plastic mallet, and go ahead and give it a tap. This is just my Armstrong rubber mallet. Alright, and that kind of takes some of that kinking out of there, and this kind of really helps shape it on down. Now you can see there's still rocks on there, and we know that that's going to be bigger than the 6 inch diameter that we have over there as well. So my next step is take, and I like this because with it being hollow, I can go ahead and use my my vice grips, and I have a couple with pivots, and I have a couple with just solid ends there. Sometimes the solid ends are more valuable than the ones with the flips, because we're working on such a small item here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to try to shape out this micrometer bottom here a little bit closer, and we line this thing up so that we are keeping level with our radius here, so that when we do get the shape in here, it also is going to fit it in the right alignment. Now I'm just using a regular medium-sized ball peen, and I'm just lightly tapping it and stress relieving this area right here. Okay, now I know that I'm down flat. There is no more kinks in this at all. Now it still is not held down to the shape there, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to move it on over here now, and I'm going to go through the letters, and I'm doing the same thing. Now I can line up the top of the letters here to keep it all square and uniform, and actually we're going to go ahead, we're going to do this in 2 stages here, because we want to go ahead and hold it down so that we can get this here. Otherwise it wants to buckle up in the middle there, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to let up here. Okay, now we're taking out all the little kinks that are in between here. Okay, now we can still see that 7 is flat. I tap it here, it wants to bend down there. Tap it there, it wants to bend down there. So what I do now is go ahead and take this so we can hold this, and then we're going to put this one on this side of the 7 here, and we're going to put this one on this side of the 7 here, and there we give it a little bit more of a curve within the piece there, and it pretty well stays down in there. The M is done pretty good. Okay, we're going to come over here and we're going to do the O. Same thing. Come over here and do the top of the B. Okay, and that 9 looks like it's pretty good. Alright, that's pretty close to that there, but we want to have a little bit more of a positive draw on it. We're going to go over and we're going to see how this thing sits on the 6-inch now. We know that we're going to want it a little bit tight. We're going to want it to be a little bit proud on the center when it's sitting on the 6, so that we know that it can be sucked in and pushed in and everything on it can lay flat. We don't want the thing to stick out past the material he wants to mount it to. Okay, we come over here to our 6-inch. We got it in the vise here so it doesn't roll around, and we can hold on. If we had to tap on it, we could tap on it. Now, this still sticks up a little bit proud on each outside. It almost fits on there. But we know that he said he has a slight skim on his 6-inch diameter, so it's a little bit under 6. We want to make sure that it's tight. So we want a little bit more clearance under here, and we want to be able to push it down and get it to suck in 100% and be tight on the outside edges here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this back over to our 5.5-inch tubing there, and we're going to clamp it down, and we're going to do some heating on it to stress relieve it even tighter than this, and then we'll come back over here and we'll get the appropriate fit to this by pushing it down. We'll know that we'll even be a little bit closer to fitting the little bit smaller diameter than we're using here for our own sample. Okay, we're going to do this in two parts here. At first, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take from the micrometer. We're going to do the micrometer section here first, and because that's the majority of it right in through all of this right here. And there we go. That looks pretty good. I see a little spot here. It just needs to be tapped down. That's a little up. That's a little bit up. We still may be able to reach in here and do like a little squeeze while it's hot, and even a little tapping down while it's hot. Okay, here we go. We're not going for a real hot flame. We just want, this stuff is real thin, and it doesn't take much to get it hot. To stress relieve that. Whoops. You don't want to go too much, because you'll lift it and it'll buckle slightly, and then you'll have a hard time. You'll have a hard time with it because it'll want to stretch on you. Little flashes. Okay, I'm going to pull off my middle clamp here. Okay, now I'm going to let that cool. If we were doing a whole bunch of these things, we'd want some kind of a press die so that the thing would lay in there, and then we would do it in a one punch press, and it would shape it on out. We could add a little compressed air and we could cool that down, but we're just going to let it sit there for a little bit. Okay, we're down on the temperature a little bit, and you can see that that's sprung up, but we still got this top section to do here. Well, we let it down, and that almost lays right to the 5.5. All right, so we're moving this in a little bit. Now we're going to grab this A on this outside here, and we're going to come back down here to the very end, over here again. And now we're going to lightly flash each one of these letters and making sure that we get all of these little connections here between the letters, making sure that they're all relaxed. That one, that M expanded quite a bit, and you can see that it actually starts creating a little bit of a raise or a bubble in the material. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and heat that back up, and I'm going to let this up and then back down with it again. Now I hit this area in here. Alright, I think we've stress relieved this pretty good. I got one clamp here somewhere. Here it is. I think I'm gonna clamp, and I'm gonna heat this area right in here. And I'm going to put another clamp over here because I don't want this to dish out this way here as well, and it looks like it's going to do that. Okay, we found another little clamp. And just a little flash heating in here. And same in here. Alright, and that should finalize our stress relief into the 5.5 dimension, and then it'll have a slight bit of spring back to it still, but it should be fitting tight on that 6-inch diameter. Alright, we're going to let that cool down to room temperature. We'll come back to it and we'll go check the fit on the 6-inch piece. Alright, this thing is cooled down to room temperature here, and now we can go ahead and pull all of our clamps off up here. And that's looking pretty good to the 5.5-inch diameter. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Let's take this curved logo and go check it out on the 6-inch diameter now. Nice. Just a little tiny bit of proudness right there, and you push this in and it wants those ends to suck down. I think that's pretty cool. And I think these 2 points right here are just holding that in. I think like right there be 2 nice little tap-in rivets, and that'll kind of offset the logo itself as well. There it is, looking that direction there. Okay, now I brought this in here to the sanding area here so that I can keep my dust in here, and I just want to go ahead and take all of our heat marks off of here. And for cleaning off the back, I use a couple different things. I use like this disc here. This kind of knocks off the dross on the back side fairly easy. Sometimes I actually hit some of the edges with the flapper wheels, and those are really nice. But when I just want to go ahead and kind of clear off the black finish, I like these Norton Rapid strips here, and this is one of the black ones, and it's kind of like just a giant Scotch-Brite pad. It's really kind of what it's like, and it does a pretty good job without really putting a lot of hard scratches into the part. And you know, a couple areas where the vice grips actually gives kind of a little bit of dimples there, I can massage that out with a little bit more pressure. Okay, from here it's kind of ready to paint. You can prime it and paint it. You'll probably drill a couple holes in there before he mounts it, and I still think right there would actually accent the micrometer as well. But a nice firm hold down there, really nice and tight fit. And there we go. Well, we got Adam's package here all wrapped up, and we're gonna run down right now and get it in the post office and on its way down to him, so that he can get on with his project. Of course, we only needed one piece for his project, but I got a little carried away, and I kind of put together a pretty good care package here. While I had it on, while I was cutting it, it's just as easy to go ahead and run a dozen pieces or so. Had a little fun with it. All right, Adam, we're gonna get our jacket on. We're going down to the post office right now. All right, get her done, buddy. And I can't wait to see your project grow. All right, everybody, catch the link at the end, and let's see where it's going.